Fantasy?
Film.
Fight! What'd you fucking say?
Fantasy.
Film fight.
I still don't get it.
Fantasy.
Fight!
You take the pick of the litter.
We take it in turns.
Someone's just gotta go first.
And then
The next person.
they just go round and round.
That's what.
We call it
Fantasy.
fight. You win some, you lose some.
Anything can happen.
So,
Who are you going with?
who you picking?
Today.
Fantasy.
Film.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 7-4 of Fantasy Film Fights, the show where we take a random film topic and we draft it fantasy style. With me, as always, my co-host right over here, Mr. Tony Heald. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I have not left this room in approximately 7 days, so I've slowly gone insane. I've made sock puppets to keep me company. I've been told to keep them off screen, but I'm doing well. So, self-isolation is fun. Peggy's super
We lost
sorry.
Peggy. Yep.
Yeah, we are.
Peggy, you're not muted. It's just, your internet connection.
Yeah. But it's such a nice view.
It's a wonderful background that she has. But yeah, as Peggy said, this is a show we take a random film topic and draft it fantasy style. And joining us this week, first up, we'll do the couple on top. Christina Vee, Anthony Tisdall, how you two doing?
So great. I can't wait to beat him in the poll later because his movie taste is terrible compared to mine.
Yeah, that's true. I can't argue that. My taste is much worse than hers. But I'm going to just try to steal a few from her to annoy her. That's my goal.
Whatever.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
It's our anniversary tomorrow, so there's still time.
Yeah,
Hey, you've still got time to be
Is
mad
it really?
at each other.
Yeah.
Happy early anniversary.
Thanks, guys. Last year, we also spent it on fantasy film fights.
True.
The prom court. So I'm just glad.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah, that got out of hand.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
It looks like Peggy's back.
Am
so
I
I'll
back
stop
now? Are
focusing.
we good?
Sounds like it.
Are we good? All right. Well, let's hope it sticks. I might have to relocate if it doesn't. So, Christina and Anthony were introduced. I'm assuming that Scott, my man over here, has not been yet. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. I think people know maybe this is a topic that contains a lot of my favorite movies of all time. So I was not spoiled for choice, or I was spoiled for choice when I was making my list of potential draftees. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure some of my picks will get taken. I'm actually kind of surprised Peggy isn't drafting tonight. That might help me, but we will see.
How it fell. That's how it falls sometimes, But hey, it's just how it goes. You have to deal with Tony and his random picks. And last
That is
certainly
fair.
not least,
Rocky 5 is a coming of age film. The story of Thomas Gunn.
Thomas Gunn. Right.
Anywho, last certainly not least, I'm down the corner. Jake is returning. Jake, how goes it?
I'm doing well. I'm definitely not worried about Tony stealing most of my picks. But we don't need to talk about that. I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here. I don't know if people would associate me necessarily with this topic, but like Scott, I was also spoiled for choice. I got to like 40 and I was like, Jesus Christ, I got to slow down here.
It's quite a few.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It'll be interesting. I know the last time Scott and I were on the show together, we were kind of worried about taking each other's picks. I think early on, that will also be the case. So we shall see. We
shall see. And yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm not drafting on this one. I just kind of get to sit back, relax, and watch you guys all fight over all the picks that I would have taken off of the board. But before that happens, we got to figure out who's going first and who's going last. Tony, how do we go about that?
Yeah, so the way that works is that you've got a question for us all. When we'll answer, whoever gets closest to it gets set draft order. So who gets to go first, who gets stuck in the middle, and who takes it in the rear. All
right. So, panel, your question. According to my internet search earlier today, a article released by Empire Online where some staffer listed what they thought were the 50 best teen movies of all time. But my question to you is how many of those 50 were from the 1980s?
I may or may not have looked at that list.
I may or may not.
I looked at that list earlier today.
I may or may not.
But did you keep track of how many were from the 80s?
Not even
the answer. The answer should be 1, but
should be 0.
it's just my opinion.
Zero?
There's a few.
Anthony. Definitely not 0.
No,
kidding me?
There's a few.
Okay. You're probably your team is probably not getting my vote if you don't draft any 80s movies on it. Just saying.
Well, sorry, Peg.
That's all right.
So the way that we're doing this is teen movies. We are not doing it just if it's something to do with the teenage experience. So it can be a coming of age film, can be anything, as long as it's in that ballpark of what was classed as a teen movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be comedy, could be drama. It's whatever you want, as long as it centers around teens. For the most, or you can argue it at least. All right, Christina, what'd you write?
12.
12. Anthony.
12.
That's all right. We got tiebreakers. Tony.
15.
Oh God.
Scott, what'd you have?
Again, maybe personal bias, but I've only said 8.
8. And Jake.
15.
Well, funny thing, the answer was 12.
Oh my
answer
God.
is 12. So
that means we win, right?
Unless one of you want to just abdicate the option to the other, I can give you the tiebreaker question.
Anniversary present, you can pick the order.
Who's going to give the anniversary present?
You better like.
I prefer actual gifts, so like this is not going to be the.
It's not going to
Well, I
fly.
didn't get you anything,
This
so
is
this
not
is your only
get
gift.
you out
Sorry.
of it, just so you know.
But do you accept it? Do you want? Do you want?
I know I'll accept it. I'll just add the list of gifts I will be receiving. What order do I want to go in? I don't know. I didn't actually think about this because I wasn't expecting to win this part. I'll go first. Screw it.
There you go.
I'll go first. Jake can go second. You can go third.
Oh, you suck. I told you which one I wanted. You didn't give it to me. Come on.
Happy anniversary, Anthony.
Tony is 4th, and Scott is 5th.
Okay.
So
All
just
right.
quickly, if anyone new watching, so it's a snake draft. So Christina will be going first overall. And Scott will be at the end for this first round. Then for the second round, Scott will be first. Christina will be last, and it goes like a snake.
Wait, how's it go?
One more time.
Like a snake.
Excellent.
All right, so Christina, you're officially on the clock. What is the first #1 overall draft pick for teen movies?
Now, I know everyone here thinks that I'm going to pick Not Another Teen Movie, and I'm not going to because I've already picked a Not Another Teen Movie. I'm not picking anything that stars Chris Evans. I am picking the greatest teen movie of all time. Stellar cast, stellar ensemble. Do you like Guns N' Roses? Because that song makes an appearance. Okay. Take me down to Paradise City, everybody, because I'm going with Can't Hardly Wait.
Nice.
Good.
Wow, not like.
This is such a good pick.
All right.
What can't let reason?
Scott, if you're gonna sit here and be like,
No,
"Oh my
I
gosh,
have never
Lady Bird, OMG!"
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I'm just surprised.
Wow.
Okay, Holy Raid is a gem.
I like specifically remember my parents not letting me see it when it came out in theaters because it was rated PG-13 and I was only like 10. So they wouldn't let me go see it. And like I remember when I finally was like, oh my God, it's like on cable and they don't know I'm watching it. And I was like, this isn't even bad. But it was great. It was an excellent, excellent movie. This is great. I'm trying to stick with movies that I really loved also as a teenager. So thanks, everyone.
Not to give away my age, but I graduated high school in 1998. This movie came out right at the right time for me because I identified with this movie hardcore. But excellent, excellent pick. I'm sorry, I will leave it to the rest of the panel to discuss, but I'm on board, Christina. Nice one.
So this is definitely not what I was expecting you to take with your first pick, but I actually also really like this movie.
Great.
It was on my list. I thought I could definitely wait a while for it, but
You can't hardly wait, though, Jake.
I actually rewatched this movie not that long ago for the first time in a long time. It is the perfect 90s time capsule.
Absolutely.
Every
These are
way.
frozen in time, people.
Yes.
in every way, both good and bad, but mostly good. In other words, Scott will probably hate this movie when he watches it.
Really?
Probably.
You think so?
Probably.
This movie's so good. I actually. Oh, you lied to me. She's lying to me left and right today. I don't know how I feel about this.
What did I tell you my first? Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to tell you, but this is a great first pick.
I love this movie.
I want to shoot Seth Green into the sun. 100%.
I was going to say,
but he's so good in the movie.
The only thing I know about
Which one
this
of you
film is
gorgeous
Seth Green's
nine are going to
glasses.
be the lucky one?
Those
Yo,
goggles that
Kareem,
Seth
baby,
Green
what's
wore.
up? Sorry. I'm just going to say here.
The goggles are essential.
I'll add it to the list.
Yes. I don't know if you'll like it, but it's worth it. You got to watch it.
Everyone else seems to. So.
Yeah, no, it's a
good.
solid.
It's
It's a
great.
solid #1 overall pick. Like I said, I am on
I
board.
still want to be Amanda Becker. Like I still want
Beckett.
to. Beckett. I was Becker. It's not another team movie. I get them confused all the time.
Yeah. It's confusing.
It is. All right, Jake, you're up, sir. What you got?
All right.
Nice.
That's where I'm going.
There goes
This
my
is
number
no
one.
contest. It's my favorite. It's my favorite teen movie of all time. I'm taking Dazed and Confused on Blonde.
You know,
I knew
sorry.
Scott would be upset, but he also had to know it was coming.
Yeah.
I've expressed my love for this movie many a time. Anybody who doesn't like this movie, I have 2 words: fuck you.
Anthony.
Fuck you
For those,
forever.
for those of you who don't know, that was me and Anthony's team. Fuck you and the fan leagues. I miss
Until Peggy got like all good and got called up and then left me.
Yeah. So not only does it have the best soundtrack,
Rue. Sorry.
that doesn't surprise me at all.
Wow.
But not only does it have the best soundtrack of any movie ever, it also has one of the best casts in movie history. I mean, you just go up and down the line. So many people became stars after this movie. Matthew McConaughey, obviously. Ben Affleck, still probably my favorite Ben Affleck performance is O'Banion in Dazed and Confused.
Ooh.
Wow, that's
He's just born to be that guy. It's just, we talk about roles people were born to. Me, Affleck was born to play O'Banion. And like, I mean, you got Mila Jovovich. You have one of my personal favorites, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Adam Goldberg, in this movie. That's my favorite Christmas movie, by the way. Anyway, yeah, it just like, and I think something I know Scott likes to talk about is like he loves movies that are like just vibes. I also love those kinds of movies, and this is like some of the best vibes. This movie, and it's just like you don't need a plot, you don't need like a set, you don't need like a MacGuffin or anything like that. You just want to hang out with these people, and you get to for a night. They're all so cool, and they're all just, and it's all so relatable, even like for almost 40 years later, 35 years later, 45 years later. Sorry, I'm bad at math. Yeah, no, this movie is just pure joy every time I watch it. So that's why it had to be number one.
Oh, you guys all know I'm a huge Richard Linklater stan, so have at it. Scott, you gotta be bummed.
Yeah, I mean, look, I absolutely, this was my number one pick for sure. I think it is the great. It's not my favorite teen movie, but it is like the quintessential teen movie in my opinion. And yeah, you know, the whole vibe, no plot, just vibes thing is like, for this movie in particular, if you like read into the making of the movie, you know, all the actors were teenagers at the time, and they talk about it being a really like transformative experience because he just like Richard Linklater just like allowed them to just be themselves. It was like a judgment-free zone, and I think all of that comes out on screen. Like, I don't think he's telling you how to feel about any of these characters. I think he's just showing them living. And you know, because all of us have lived through that time, we gravitate towards different characters. Everyone's going to gravitate towards different people. I think that's the beauty of the film. And yeah, it's also just, you know, a damn good time, a damn fun time to watch. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a fun movie. It's great soundtrack. Every song that hits hard. You're just like, yeah, I love this song. Oh yeah, I love this song. This song's great. And it's just fun. Like, there's not really a plot. It's just a generic, like everyone said, it's just It's just fun. Like, it's everyone just enjoying the last day, minus the kids getting hit with the cricket bats. Everyone enjoying the last day of school, but
It's fine.
it's fun.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, it wasn't on my list.
I mean, it was on my list because like it has to be, but like I don't know. I think I've only watched this movie one time, and I was just kind of like, because it doesn't have a plot. I feel like I need a plot.
You need a plot.
I think I'm just somebody, especially after doing digesting cinema. I need a plot. If there is not a plot, I don't vibe. I need a plot.
That's fair. But no, to get on your point of the soundtrack, yeah, that resulted in 2 double-disc soundtrack releases for that movie. Yeah. I can't imagine what the budget was for the music in that movie. It had to be astronomical.
Yeah.
I believe it was like at least 1/6 of the whole budget was music.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
That makes sense.
But hey, well worth it if you ask me. Well worth it. And Richard Linklater is known for his good music in movies. See, Everybody Wants Some also has
Facts.
some good tunes.
Richard Linklater is a pretty good director. He probably done some decent stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never
School of
I've never
Rock
seen it,
is
but-
iconic.
School of Rock. is
Tony, how dare you say this on a
That's
stream
where
with
you
myself and Peggy?
No, I've been meaning to watch it. It's just when it comes to sitting down and watching a high school movie, it's always a bit difficult because the differences are so vast between American and British high school. So especially when I was in high school, I always found it confusing. Just like, but it's not like that. We wear uniforms, so we have to do X, Y, Z. So movies like Days.
Too.
Like everyone can just see it.
Yeah, everyone uniforms kindergarten through senior year. Still
Whatever.
identified. Anyway, so
That's
Jay
funny.
takes Days Confused. Anthony, you are up, sir. What you got?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to do here. And especially the fact that she didn't take the movie to start out. I'm clearly going to take this movie because it is every teen movie ever made in one movie with the wonderful Chris Evans, which I will lose my wife if she ever meets him. But not another teen movie I have to take. I love this movie from the first time I saw it. Actually, for what it is, it's one of the most brilliant movies you could possibly see because it takes all of these teen movies and puts them together and still kind of has a plot throughout the whole thing for whatever chaos it tries to create. The cast is good. It's hilarious. And come on, how am I not going to pick this? Not another teen movie has to be gone.
Rue, why?
Thank you.
Yes, Brew.
I haven't seen this one either. To be honest with you, I didn't know that people loved it until like it came into this community. But yeah, no, it's like a cult classic now. So I apologize for having not seen it. But I just had never known that it was.
These people.
It's not just them. To be fair, I have heard other people talk about this. So.
How can you say that it's a perfect parody movie?
It is perfect.
No, but okay.
It is a
How is it not a perfect
As a
parody?
parody, it is perfect.
If we're talking about perfect parody movies.
What's
But
better?
I actually do enjoy this movie. I did rewatch it this past year, thanks to you guys. I did enjoy it. Like it is funny. Like I didn't want to laugh as much as I did, but I did because I mean it is like genuinely funny in a lot of parts, and it makes fun of teen movies, both good and bad, including Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
Very memorably. So it's interesting that you guys sort of stayed in the family, if you will.
I didn't even plan that part.
We're just so cute.
I mean, every time she walks through the door, I stop moving.
I thought if you thought you hate Can't Hardly Wait, you'll absolutely hate Not Another Teen Movie.
That's true.
I can imagine. I watched another teen movie earlier this week in preparation for this because as soon as I heard he was on the panel, I went, yeah, I probably should watch this just so I can talk about it. It is actually, I didn't love it, but it is a really good parody. It does take a piss out of a lot of it and does it in a way that both honors the good parts of the idea of teen movies and then also just like takes a piss out the like, you're all those rampant horny bastards. And then you have Sam Levine doing just a weird racist character.
Yeah.
Guys, Chris Evans does the Varsity Blue scene, and his hoo-ha is covered in whipped cream. You are welcome, America.
I need
Don't
to
get
go
quite
for
see
like 5
America's
minutes.
ass just yet, but you can see everything else.
Garth made the GIF or GIF, however you say that, where he's looking at his own butt in the frame.
That's true.
Garth made that. So boom, everyone. You're welcome also.
Well, thank you, Garth.
All right. So
Oh, I'm
Anthony.
saying you're welcome on his behalf because he would let me.
All right, so Anthony, to the shock of nobody, takes not another teen movie. Tony, interested what you are going to take. Don't say what is it? The Insiders. What is that one? The British one?
In-Between.
In-Betweeners. Don't
The
say that.
In-Betweeners movies too. No.
I don't hate this.
They are low-key actually quite good movies. They are, like, if you like, I'm not going to pick it, but just, if you like fringe humor, if you like The Office, stuff like that, The In-Betweeners is great. British Office, not American Office. That's toned down stuff. But no, I'm going to go for one that really encapsulates just when I think of teen movies, to the point that when I made the graphic for this episode, I based it on this film. It has it gets all the clicks and everything like that so wonderfully, and it's some fantastic performances. Rachel McAdams is one of the greatest villains of all time. And it's just, this movie just, even now, like almost 20 years on, it still slaps. I gotta go Mean Girls.
Boo, you whore.
Well played, Christina. Now, I want to know if there's actual footage of a few days where, because I don't know if to be McCann, the Lohan, those roles were supposed to be inverted.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah,
Lindsay
I
playing
didn't
Rachel McAdams.
Chop.
Losing you, Peg.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up. But yeah, this was my number 2 after Dazed and Confused. Like, I would have been shocked if this had gotten out of the first round. This movie's perfect. Like, I can't. There's
This
nothing.
movie's perfect, but not another teen movie, is it? Okay.
Yeah, this movie's way better.
Yeah,
in
it is.
every conceivable way. Like, it's so quotable. Like Tony said, every performance is just pitch perfect. All 3 of the plastics are just A++. Like, shout out to Toaster Strudels. No, this movie's incredible, and I must say to Danny DeVito, I love your work.
Underrated line in the movie.
It's maybe my favorite line of the movie.
I mean, look, this was definitely on my list. It's iconic for a reason. It's a fantastic movie. You know, one of the most quotable movies for sure, especially for like my generation. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say, except I wish that Lindsay Lohan hadn't fallen off so soon after this, because yeah, she's an underrated part of the movie that really works, I think.
That's true. I do think that Lindsay Lohan, because of what happened afterwards, and just she doesn't get credit for being such a great actress. But she's like, I don't know. I think it was like the 20th or 30th anniversary of The Parent Trap recently.
Yeah, she was exceptional in that.
Yeah, that movie's incredible. Like,
yeah, she's great.
She's one of those people where it's just like, oh yeah, it's an absolute shame that she kind of got lost in that world, because she could have been the incredible actress that she was building up to be.
Yeah.
Well, British Lindsay Lohan's okay. It's only the American one.
Yeah.
British Lohan. What am I missing?
I'm so funny.
Oh my. No. Great pick. This had to go. I didn't think it was making it out of the first round. I was like, let me get my movie in. Someone's going to pick Mean Girls. I'm just going to not even. I wrote it down just as a maybe people forgot, but clearly I didn't think that was going to happen.
No. Solid pick. Good.
I was going to say, and apparently the musical's really good as well, and that's being made into a movie.
I'm just excited to
Wouldn't
like the movie.
that
I've seen.
musical just be Mean Girls, the movie? Seems like a lot of work.
It's a musical movie.
To make a movie.
Mean Girls, the musical, the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot.
All right, so Mean Girls is off the board. Scott, close out round 1 for us.
All right. So it seems like people have maybe picked movies that meant a lot to them as a teenager. So that's kind of the route that I'm going to go down as well, and go with a movie that definitely meant a lot to me when I was of the age of the characters in the movie. Definitely one of the best book adaptations of all time. And I think it's because the author of the book also directed the movie. So I'm picking The Perks of Being a Wallflower as my number one choice. I love this movie. Like I said, it meant a lot to me when I was in high school, as I think it did for a lot of people around my age. And, you know, watching it back now, there are things that like shouldn't work about the movie. Like, I do think that like Emma Watson's character is like a little bit of a manic pixie dream girl, right? If you want to fall back on that trope, I do think it is just like a little, you have to suspend your disbelief about just like the way that they just welcome him in and everything at the beginning of the movie, but it just works. And I think other than, of course, the biggest plot hole in movie history, which is that these kids don't know David Bowie's Heroes, but it just works. And I think it works because the emotions of it are so deeply felt and so sincere, and they're not afraid to just be explicit about the emotions of being a teenager. And that last speech in particular that Charlie has when they're the narration as they're driving through the tunnel at the very end is just awesome. Like that still makes me cry when I watch it. So I love this movie, and yeah, I'm happy I got it at number one, even if Days got taken.
Yeah, I never really thought about how kind of ridiculous that they wouldn't be able to find the Bowie song, the Tunnel song.
Oh yeah. Well, they're listening to like the Smiths and like a bunch of other bands that would be much harder to recognize.
Yeah, but you would
David
think
Bowie, one of his
they
most
would be able to
iconic
connect
songs.
the dots through the yeah. So
Also,
I never
it
really
was
thought about that.
It was 1991 as well. It wasn't like Bowie went off for 10 years and didn't do any music. He was still active at that time.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't see this movie until I was an adult. And this movie's very, very good. And I could definitely see this, like, if I was younger, like, this movie would have been my identity. Like, I probably would have watched it every day.
She said that we both watched it this year for the first time. I've never seen it before this year. We watched it. And every time she's like, if I was in high school with this would be all I'd watch. Literally, this is it. Like, this movie is very, very good. Of the second most obvious number one pick of Scott taking this and me taking not another teen movie, we definitely saw this coming. But it is a great pick. It's a good movie. There's a lot of good parts to it that I really enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, this movie's fantastic. And so is the book. Both of them mean quite a lot to me, just because it recalls like a kind of a memorable time in my life. Short version, I was trapped in Hurricane Sandy and couldn't go anywhere for like 3 days. So I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and we decided, like, because we didn't have anything to do, we were gonna just like read this book together, and just that was like what we did. And then we watched the movie later when there was power, and it's great. So yeah, this movie will always hold a special place in my heart. I know it's sort of in vogue to shit on Ezra Miller these days, and for good reason in some cases. But he's fantastic in this movie. He absolutely steals the movie as Patrick. I mean, they're all great. Logan Lerman is great as Charlie. But yeah, I definitely support this pick for sure.
Yeah, the DVD I own of it is my second because I loaned the other one to a friend, and I have a bad habit of never getting DVDs returned to me without time ever loaned out. Second. Anywho, end of round one. Tony, over to you for the recap, if you would be so kind.
Absolutely. All right. So
and if you can hear me. Okay.
Christina went first this round. She went We Can't Hardly Wait. Jack went second. Went Dazed and Confused. Anthony went for Not Another Teen Movie. I went with Mean Girls. And then Scott went Perks of Being a Wallflower.
That is a lot of really solid. Yeah. There's nothing weird.
Everyone's got a solid team, but only one movie per squad so far. Scott, don't screw it up. What are you taking with your second pick?
All right. Well, look, Christina sardonically mentioned it earlier in reference to me, but I got to take it. Come on. It's a perfect movie. It's Lady Bird. That's my second choice. Yeah. I mean, look, it's become old hat to mention Greta Gerwig and myself in the same breath. But look, there are far, far worse people to be associated with. And this movie is another one that I think is just so relatable to me, specifically Lady Bird's relationship with the city of Sacramento. Because I, like her, I am someone who, grew up in no, I mean, it's not really a small place, but, small-ish place. And I, left home as soon as I graduated high school. So I love like her transition or her relationship to the city of Sacramento. There's that great scene she has with the nun where like she's written all about the city, and the nun's like, "Oh, you write about it with such, like you love it so much. You clearly love being from Sacramento." And she's like, "Well, I was just describing it." And that kind of sentiment really, strikes a chord with me. And then, at the end when she leaves home, what she's been begging to do the whole movie, and then realizes, well, hey, all this stuff from back home, her parents, like the church that she went to, like all this stuff, like made her into the person that she is, and she owes a lot of that to where she came from. So it's a wonderful movie. It's extremely funny. I don't think it gets enough credit for being very funny. I always pinpoint this one part, but when the nun reads out the prom themes, and it's like cities of the world, eternal flame, and movies. It's just something about the way that she like says those things that always gets me, that always cracks me up. But and yeah, wonderful performances. I love Timothy Chalamet as like the anarchist, like I'm so over the world and everything. It's a wonderful movie, and Greta Gerwig, yeah, she's magic.
Jake, you were nodding along a lot. Was this high up on your list? Was it maybe your next pick?
This might have been my next pick. Yeah, this movie's hella tight.
Hella tight.
Right. To quote Chalamet in the movie. No, this movie's phenomenal. I may not stand Greta Gerwig as much as Scott does, but it's close. Because I adore her movies as well, especially this one. And I think the reason why is she just has this deep, deep love for all of her characters, and it comes through on screen. Like she's not sort of looking down on anyone, even the characters that make mistakes. Like they make mistakes, but like you still love them. And like even Jenna, the sort of rich girl who kind of is a bit of an airhead, like you even kind of feel for her a little bit because she has the pressure to be this person, just the way high school is. But yeah, this movie is absolutely phenomenal. Laurie Metcalf, one of the great screen moms, I think.
And Tracy Letts, one of the great screen dads, if we're being honest.
100%. Yeah, the Laurie Metcalf, her like the final scene when she's pulling away from the airport. Not the final scene. Sort of the end of her.
Look around, yeah.
Oh my God, it breaks me every single time I watch it. Yeah, this movie is phenomenal. I knew Scott would take it, but
well, tit for tat. You took his, he takes yours.
Fair.
Yeah, this movie's great. I haven't watched it. I mean, I have watched it, but I didn't watch it as a teenager, obviously, because I was a grown woman when it came out. So my heart doesn't go to it as some of these other trash movies that I will be picking. But the scene that sticks out the most to me is like the most realistic teenager parent scene is where like Laurie Metcalf is screaming like how much money it costs to raise her. Because I definitely have said this, like, give me a number. Like, how much did it cost so I can pay you back? And then then you don't have to, I don't have to deal with your crap anymore. And I'm like, ooh, that has come out of my mouth because I'm a brat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. I remember enjoying it. I remember finding it funny. I remember finding it heartwarming. Like she said, that scene is just kind of like, that seems very, very real. And I will always remember the scene where the girl just jumps out of the car. Like that always cracks me up every time. And I can just picture it right in my head right now. But it's a great movie. Definitely a very Scott pick, which expected this to happen. That's why I didn't even put it on my list, knowing it was going to go. So I was just like not worried about it. It's a good one, but solid number 2.
Think about Ladybird. This tiny thing that always infuriates me about Ladybird is the fact that Stephen McKinley Henderson has not had a prolific career. He plays his father in it. He's incredible. Mm-hmm. He's done incredible on on like the drum scene in New York, but it's just like he's never had those. He should have been that character actor for like 20, 30 years. He should have been the I can't remember the guy's name, but he's in every sitcom. Richard Kind.
Oh yeah.
He should have been the dramatic Richard Kind. He should have been that guy that's just like, if you need someone to have a really good performance, put McKinley in there.
He was really good on the show Devs. Just throwing that out there.
Is that the same as the movie Debs?
No, DEVS. It's
in the movie.
Alex Garland TV series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's a movie called Debs. Yeah. Jordan is in it. Anyone? Bueller? No. Anyways, so Lady Bird's off the board. Tony, what are you taking with your second overall pick?
Okay, I'm gonna go pick the right choice for a Beanie Feldstein movie. That's also directed by a female actress turned director. This is just, I shouldn't love this film as much as I do, I think, but just everything about it just works so perfectly. The humor, like Beanie Feldstein and Caitlin Dever just works as a duo so well together that it's just like you gotta put them together and kind of more of things. Olivia Wilde is such a great director, but I'm just now like, everything you want to do, just please do. You're going to be great in it, and please keep dating One Direction people and apparently annoys the internet. But yeah, Booksmart.
It's in the chat. So 5, 4, 3.
Dude,
I gotta give him time to type.
This movie is not good, and I don't understand why people are obsessed with it.
Wow.
I can't even, I already watched this movie in 2007. It's called Superbad, so thanks for that. Yeah, I don't understand why this movie was even made and why people like it so much. And P.S. Billie Lourd, not that good in it, not that funny.
Oh, she's
Don't say
great in it.
No, she's
literally
annoying.
literally everything Christina just said was wrong.
No.
I know there is a movie that did this first. I agree with that. I really enjoyed Billie Lourd's movie, and she cracked me up. I've seen the movie like twice, once on my own and once watched it with her. She was not a fan. There are parts I do enjoy. Time number 2, I was like, okay, I still really enjoy it. It wasn't as much as I enjoyed the first one because there's.
But I'm not 12, so that's why I'm not obsessed with it.
Right.
So
when you watch these movies when you're a little older, it's a little more
that's the
difficult.
other problem.
Uh-oh. Lost PJ.
Like some of the movies
I'm a year younger than you, and I watched this movie 5 times the year it came out because I love it that much.
Jake, the difference between me and you, honey, is that I have a life. Love you. I can't tell if he's frozen or he just hates me right now.
No, he just hates you.
I live enough, great.
I like Booksmart. I don't like, it's not all-time classic for me like it is for some people, but it's a great movie. I saw it twice in theaters. I laughed a lot. I do think Billie Lourd is one of the best parts of the movie. When she's playing the piano at the very end at the graduation, that was like the moment where I just lost it. Something about like the cut to just her and being like just so dramatically playing that when she's such a ridiculous character cracked me up. But yeah, I like it a lot.
My stealth MVP of this movie is Skylar Gisondo as Jared. I think I didn't like him as much the first time I watched this movie, but every subsequent viewing, I've liked him more. I just think he's so earnest. He's so funny. He's so and he's like overly nice. I have some similar feelings to this movie as I do Lady Bird, in the sense that it's clear Olivia Wilde like really loves all of these characters, and it comes through on screen. And I think that's why I really felt attached to this movie, just because on top of it just being really, really funny.
I mean, I would like to point out that the movies that you will hear come out of my mouth are not good, but they're great in the same sense. Okay, Aaron, you don't have to be a hater that like movies don't like mean anything to me.
You did that to yourself.
It does not get inspired by movies.
I don't get inspired by movies. I get it. Whatever. I have no soul. Jake does. Whatever.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Whose turn is it?
I'm not making a statement on the soul. Sorry.
It's Anthony's turn, I think.
Yeah. All right. I'll go next. Luckily, my second choice is still here, and it kind of makes sense that Aaron just recently joined the chat because I know he really enjoys this movie. I really love this movie. It has a fantastic soundtrack. It has a couple songs on it I've played over and over again that she now hates because of how many times I have played it. But Dope needs to be put on this list because that movie is fantastic from start to finish. There's good comedy. You get the friendship. You get the bullies. You get every single aspect.
Finally learn what Bitcoin is.
Yeah, I finally figured out what Bitcoin is. I didn't know what that was, but now I have a general idea what that is. So this movie was great. I didn't expect a lot from it when it first came out. I heard people talk about it. I was like, let me try to watch this, and I absolutely loved it. Don't worry, Aaron, that one will come later, just for Scott's sake. But yes, Dope needs to be put on this list, and that would be my number 2 choice.
Yeah, I saw this one time, and it was on a plane, and I liked it. But it just, I don't know if it was the right venue for me to just like be totally sucked in and it become a favorite. But it's a lot of fun. I think Rick Famuyiwa is a strong director, so I'm excited to see more of what he does, be it TV or movies.
Yeah, I've also only seen this movie once, which is why I kind of left it off, because it's not one. I mean, I liked it a lot when I saw it, but it's one I really need to revisit. It does have my future wife Zoe Kravitz in it, though, so props for that.
I would shoot absolute best. I really do.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I want to see that relationship happen.
Me too.
I'm a stan. Let's do it. And Tony Ravioli is great.
All right.
All three of the leads are fantastic. Yeah.
I need to rewatch this. I remember watching it and just like, I think I wasn't paying much attention to it, and then it was like, oh, this is pretty decent actually. I probably should pay. I'll turn it off and I'll give it a proper watch one time. And I never got around to actually watching it again because I know Rue. This is like one of the films that he will bang on about to the cows come home. So I'll get around to watching it one of these days properly and give it the full attention, all that jazz.
You really should.
I do love the director as well, but I'm not going to say his name because I'm going to butcher it because I don't do well with anything that has more than 3 vowels in it. But I watched Brown Sugar recently, and that is incredible. So I'm very happy to watch anything he does. But all right, so Anthony picked Dope there, so we'll move on to Jake for a second round pick.
Everyone is picking great movies that I'm about to.
It's funny. This movie came up not that long ago. I'm going to pick a movie that meant a lot to me when I was a teenager. Christina incorrectly besmirched what she thinks is an inferior version of this movie. I am picking Superbad with my second pick.
Because it's a great movie. It is my favorite comedy of all time.
This movie came out the weekend that I started college. So that was what I did. Like after I was done unpacking my dorm and like putting everything in my dorm or whatever, my roommate and I, we went to go see Superbad at the theater that weekend before school started. And I would put the first 45 minutes of this movie up against any comedy of my lifetime as some of the funniest stuff that you've ever seen in a movie. Like just from moment one, when Jonah Hilt says the Coen brothers don't direct the porn that I watch. I mean, just so many incredible quotes. Like, have you ever looked into his eyes? It's like the first time I've ever heard the Beatles. Just banger after banger after banger. It's so good that that American Vandal kind of took some shine from it with the dick drawing. Another incredible show. Watch American Vandal. But anyway, Superbad. Just it really means a lot to me. Just because. That central friendship reminded me so much of my friendships that I had in high school. I will not say whether I was the Seth or the Evan. You can probably infer which one I was more like. But I think all 3 of the main actors have never been better. Like Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. This is career peak for all of them. And I know,
Well, McLovin.
Jonah Hill has done some fantastic work Maybe Wolf of Wall Street is his peak.
Jake, I agree with you, but you keep going. This was them at their peak. I got you.
Moneyball.
I got you on this. I got
100%. And I like Scott Pilgrim, but this is peak Michael
for
Cera.
Jonah.
Molly's Game.
That's a giveaway future pick. No, that's not right.
But yeah, and just yes, I will address the elephant in the room. The stuff with the cops does not age well for reasons we do not have to get into. But the first 45
forever
minutes,
love Bill Hader and Seth Rogen though. So
they're great, but no way that you would get away with showing that in a movie in 2021. I could tell you that right now. But the first 45 minutes, the last like 30 minutes are just peak 2000s comedy. But yeah, so Superbad was easy for me to pick next.
Yeah. All right.
I applaud you, Jake. Excellent pick. Greatest comedy, my favorite of all time. I love this movie.
What is wrong with you people?
She does love it.
So I would like to point out that I made fun of Jake for watching things so many times, but my roommate and I used to get drunk in college, and we used to watch this every night. But unfortunately, we would always just pass out, so we just kept starting it over and over again.
I know that game, but that was with Tommy.
Been there.
I mean, this is a great pick. This movie was fantastic. We actually just like 3 days ago picked up here at a brewery that was called. Oh, so I heard they made it with more hops. But the only problem is Michael Cera's best role is definitely This Is the End. Clearly,
Yes.
That peak.
No.
Just for those 5 minutes. that's
Molly's
peak.
Game.
No, his peak happened the same year, but I'm not going to talk about it because I might be talking about it later.
Might be later. Okay.
Yeah, that's also a good shout. I think this. I mean, I acknowledge this movie is very well done for what it is. The raunchy comedy is just not my style of comedy, so there's only has so much mileage. It only has so much mileage for me, but again, like I said, it's good for what it is. I don't fault people for enjoying it or for putting it on their list. It's just never going to be one of my favorites.
I thought people put it on their list because it fucking sucks. Not funny.
We know this. Move on.
Wow.
Whew.
It's just unfunny. It's just like all the
When
like.
you pick Booksmart, it's the same movie. It's
No.
the same movie.
No, Booksmart is actually well written and funny, and actually uses the motif better. Whereas Superbad is just like boobies.
You literally just copied what
basically-
was already done. It's not like
Not that a lot.
the original story. It was the same.
Basically, it's going to like you remember what American Pie did. Let's do that even worse than American Pie. Let's go Porky's level.
No. Do
Get
not
it-
even mention
I-
American
I-
Pie.
American Pie is cinema.
Out of
American Pie is a garbage. I hope that it doesn't come
Superbad,
up.
absolutely, American Pie is garbage. I don't hate it, but it's way worse than Superbad. Oh my god, it's not close.
You're a
Which one spawned a franchise though?
Wrong one.
Does that necessarily mean it's
No,
it's
no,
good?
I just-
Transformers, there's like 10 of them.
Yeah.
I was just throwing a point out there. But all right, Jake.
I don't care if they're related to Garth. I don't care. It's still they're
Yeah,
different versions.
It's true. Jake took Superbad. Christina, end of round 2. What are you taking to close it out?
Since Anthony took Not Another Teen Movie,
Obviously.
I will take the movie that mainly inspired that movie. Because let's be real, Freddie Prinze Jr., Paul Walker, did they ever look better? They did not. So I will go with She's All That. Because let's be real, as a woman, we all wanted to be the girl that got made over and slowly walked down the steps in the red dress. So I will take She's All That.
I will say that Freddie Prinze Jr. looked better in Summer Catch, and Paul Walker looked better in either Varsity Blues or The Skulls.
All right. Well, I mean,
Skulls.
Just saying.
Wow.
I
I
feel like
was
a
not
cat,
expecting a Skulls name drop.
I like The Skulls. I don't mind that movie at all.
She's All That so good. That's a great movie.
It is.
I
good.
really enjoy that movie. Like Freddie Jr.'s great. It's just I always loved the movies and how great. Again, another 2 movies. There's a reason this number 1 pick because it made fun of it so perfectly. It's like, oh, don't wear glasses. Oh, let your hair down. Completely different woman. Like completely different, but 2 things.
Well, they did cut her hair, and She's All That.
That's right.
Because that particular coif didn't suit her face shape.
But that walk down the stairs is an iconic theme that has been reused in so many movies now. It's great. by Sixpence None of It.
Hey, there you go. Oh no,
Shame.
Scott, your taste is way too highbrow for me.
You really need to get to those 90s.
I think that is the problem, isn't it?
how did you put teen movies as your number one like wish? And you haven't seen half of these ones that are getting picked, yo.
Okay, well, these are. Well, I won't go there.
These are old movies.
They're not.
No, that's not. I'm gonna have old movies on my list, but potentially.
Little underneath your brow there.
Old movies, as in 2003.
I will say the
Not
best.
what I mean.
The best thing about She's All That is Sixpence None the Riches, Kiss Me.
Oh, yeah. It's like
I hate that song. I hate that song. That song got way overplayed when that movie was out. Way overplayed.
I'll be honest, Not Another Teen Movie kind of ruined She's All That by parodying it so well.
See, a perfect parody.
Yeah,
She's All That seriously when Not Another Teen Movie exists. So it's kind of double dipping. That's true.
I don't know. I like Robin Hood Men in Tights, and I like Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. It works. They can both be in their own little areas.
Well, that's a take, liking Robin Hood Prince of Thieves.
No, that's Taylor Swift's music video for You Belong With Me, Aaron.
That's awesome. Good old Taylor Swift reference.
Yeah, everyone's just drinking on this episode because I'm doing all of the things that you associate me with.
The Scott Harvey bingo.
We need to start instituting rules like that.
I also just realized that She's All That is actually the precursor to one of the best movies of all time, Scooby-Doo, because it has both Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard.
Yep. So does Summer Catch, for that matter, though. They did a bunch of movies together.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
The Matthew Lillard scene and She's All That, though, that when he does the dance, that might be the best scene in any.
The dancing, my God, the dancing.
I need more Matthew Lillard.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was supposed to be my Halloween costume this year.
Perfection.
Christina, you've seen Summer Catch, right?
Of course I've seen
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure you were aware of Billy Brubaker.
Jessica Biel's ass in Summer.
Oh my God,
is what dreams are made of, and I will say that. Since the boys feel like they can't, I will say it on their behalf.
I can neither confirm nor deny this statement.
No, that's true.
I'll confirm it.
No, every girl thought the same. There's like, wish my abs, my ass, fill in the body part you want looked like that. Every girl watched fucking Summer Catch. Anyways, end of round 2. Tony, recap time, if you would be so kind once again.
Absolutely. All right, so Scott went first this round. He went with Lady Bird. I went with Booksmart. Anthony went with Dope. Jake went with Superbad. And Christina went with She's All That.
Dope. I missed the Dope pick. Sorry about that technical difficulties. I had to relocate if you guys didn't notice.
Yeah.
You do not.
Do you find that it's a dope pick?
I do think it's a dope pick. I do think it's a dope pick. I think yeah. But we are back to Miss Christy Vee, aka Christina. What you got for round 3?
All right, I'm gonna stick with the quintessential, like, you had to watch this when you were a teenager. It was full of teens. Everybody talked about this. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe you've never seen that movie. The dude has sex with a pie. That's right. I am gonna say I'm doing it because this movie is terrible. This movie is actually so bad, but this movie is so great because you could never get away with any of this crap now. I can't actually believe it got made when it did, and they had to cut a lot of crap out because this was like so bad. It was like NC-17, and they were like, we need it to be R. No one's going to see this movie, but it is great in the sense of this just created all of these other crazy ass teen movies. That it was just, you cast all these teens, they just do crazy stuff. And like, honestly, the concept of like trying to get laid when you're in high school is like a real thing that boys do, because girls, we don't have that problem.
Almost made me do a spit take.
I mean, this is a pick. I mean, American Pie was the quintessential teen movie. It really did spawn a lot of other ones, so it should be on here. Is it on a rewatch? Is it good? Not really. But did you have to watch it when it came out? Absolutely. You had to. It was quotable. It makes all the sense of the world. Like all of it. Yeah.
I will say I did like this movie as a teenager. When I watched it as a teenager, I enjoyed this movie because I didn't know any better. And then now, I have a feeling I would not enjoy this movie at all if I watched it like tonight. Yeah, there's some major yikes shit in this movie.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, I never said it was in any league, Caro. I know that it's not good, but the point of here is to draft a teen movie, and this is what this is. It is, if you think of a teen movie, you think of American Pie.
That's fair.
It didn't say it had to be a good one.
I'll just leave it at this. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you know I generally enjoy movies. I generally rate movies pretty highly. I don't have a lot of movies that are rated very low. This is one of probably about 15 movies that I have at 1 star on Letterboxd. And I'll just leave it at that.
I know. That's unfair.
Well, I'm glad you're not denying it.
I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody this movie's good, but it is is a teen movie. That is what we are drafting. And as a teenager, everybody talks about this movie.
It is a teen movie.
And everybody loved this movie because you were supposed to.
I definitely know one of Scott's other 1-star reviews, which is just wrong. But this movie was over time. That's what it was.
This movie had a decent soundtrack. "Sway" by Bic Runga. That was a bop back in the day. I like that one. You know?
Also,
except for the band that was at the dance singing the "Camels Are Our Friend" like till the evening ends, whatever song. I don't understand that whole part. Anyways, that just always irked me.
This One Time at Band Camp is also a very good beer.
Oh, that's true.
That we can get.
Yeah. Also solid.
Yep.
I'm gonna say just the casting as well. Just like they just caught this like perfect, just like late 90s, early 2000s, just like
Chris Klein, Sean Patrick Williams,
and like and the parents as well.
Scott, thank you. Yeah.
Sean William Scott, like and the parents as well.
Rookie of the year. Freaking Rookie of the Year is in this movie.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Former Schmodown competitor.
Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Yeah.
Then you have the 2 parents of just like Jennifer Coolidge. Is basically, if you want to cast the airheaded mum, she's the perfect person and she's still to this day getting cast in that role.
She wasn't originally airheaded though. She was just like the sexy, mysterious mom, and then she had that role in Legally Blonde, and all of a sudden, Selfish Mom became kind of airheadish.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, of course, the legend that is Eugene Levy.
Yeah.
He was great.
Well, we'll just tell your mom that we hate it all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't realize all my movies came out basically the same year.
Kind of. They're definitely the same era for sure.
First part.
All right. I can work with that.
If anyone wants to have a go at Christina's age, you can work backwards from the.
I was going to say, can you tell when I was in high school?
Yeah.
Actually, 99 is when I graduated 5th grade. So I saw.
Yeah, I was going to say this is more my wheelhouse than yours, honestly. But
this
anywho,
is peak teen movies. Peak.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Christina takes American Pie. Jake, 3rd overall pick. What do you have up your sleeve, sir?
So when Christina thinks of teen movies, she thinks of American Pie. When I think of teen movies, I think of Clueless.
No.
Nice.
That's my next pick.
I was wondering how long it would take for this one to come off the
This
page.
movie. Well, good. Then that means that everybody agrees with me that this movie is an all-timer in the genre.
Yes. 100%.
This is. I mean, I don't think it's controversial to say this is peak Alicia Silverstone, but not only is it peak Alicia Silverstone, it's one of the best performances in any teen movie ever. Like, Cher Horowitz is an absolute fucking icon, and I will not hear anything else. Like, just from moment one, she is just absolutely fantastic. When she calls Spartacus Sporadicus, it's like my soul left my body because I laughed so hard.
That's not a teen
this movie is just great. Like, the cast up and down, another incredible cast. Paul Rudd, like his first, like, we don't acknowledge Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers in this house, but Clueless we absolutely acknowledge as the coming out of Paul Rudd as an absolute legend. You got Donald Faison, you've got Brittany Murphy, R.I.P., just absolutely bringing the heat as Ty.
Oh, yeah.
You got Dan Hedaya, incredible as
he's great.
Yes.
Best screen dads.
Anything happens with 45 and a shovel. I doubt anyone would miss you.
That's what. So my dad loves this movie because of Dan Hedaya. He just absolutely loves that character, and yeah, this movie is just. It is like how we were talking about how Can't Hardly Wait is a perfect 90s time capsule. This movie is a perfect 90s time capsule.
Oh, yeah.
Soundtrack, the clothes. I mean, this is peak 90s, this movie. Whatever you want to say about the 90s, if you want to learn about the 90s, watch Clueless, and you will also have a damn good time. I just absolutely love this movie, and everybody else can go off about why they love it too.
There's nothing else to say. Everything you said is perfect. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I love when you get sassy. It's my favorite thing, and I hope that I bring it out in you a little bit by busting on you.
You do.
You made my next pick easier because now it's not Clueless. So
yeah, same here. This was my 1,000% my next pick. This movie is phenomenal. I just like that Cher, like. You know, we've said this about several movies, I feel like, but the movie never like looks down on her, even though she's like a little, dumb. She's a little bit of a mean girl at the start of the movie. That they never like look down on her. Like they always see the good in this character, and the movie is about her becoming a better person. So I like that approach just slightly more than Mean Girls of like. Yeah, where the mean girls are actually mean. Like they are kind of like irredeemable. At least Regina is. And here, every character they find the good in them. So yeah, love Clueless.
This movie's so good.
This was going to be my pick, but then when Lady Bird got picked, I was just like, oh wait, Booksmart. I can make the joke about Beanie Feldstein. So fuck.
Yeah,
that joke.
If I would have inverted those picks, I would have taken.
Yeah,
Wait,
I feel Jake just stole the pick from everybody.
I
Everyone was like, "Yep, that was my next pick."
Everybody was crapping on American Pie, so I was like, the funny thing would be to take it, and they're all boys, so they might forget that Clueless existed.
No, never said Clueless. Remember that.
Never forget Clueless exists.
Well, at least now we know Scott's seen a 90s teen
God.
movie. So
okay, calm down.
At least Scott lowered his expectations and slummed it with the rest of us.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna have to vote for Jake in this stupid poll.
Yeah.
So Clueless finally comes off the board. Anthony, you're up.
I hate you.
I just annoyed my wife very much because I crossed off her list what I'm going to pick next. And this movie is great. It is quotable. And it has one of the biggest See You Next Tuesdays in the history of film in Big Red. Because Bring It On is fantastic. This movie needs to be brought up. It has great... The cast is awesome. Big Red is just... I'm not going to say it because she's already done it before, but the See You Next Tuesday of that is epic throughout the entire thing. You know, the Clovers, the Toros, everything is perfect about this movie. This movie needed to be brought up. I was hoping I would make it to here because I wanted those other two first, but Bring It On.
Nice.
Nice.
I didn't even put this on my list because I knew one of you two was going to take it, and I just didn't want to get in the middle of that.
I enjoy this one. It's been a minute since I've seen it. I did think about it. I was just thinking about it the other day, and I don't think it was in reference to this show, but I will say the musical is also worth checking out. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the music, so.
Oh, nice.
Caught my interest.
I've said it before, I say it again. I watched Bring It On and The Godfather on the same day. Bring It On is better than The Godfather.
Oh, Tony.
Just like Peyton Reed does an absolutely fantastic job with it. Kristen Dunst is the best of just that cheerleader role that you could ever find. And yeah, man, for a movie that I should have no interest in because cheerleading is not a thing over here, it's fucking amazing.
So good.
Yo, everybody's picking
such
great.
The first 5 minutes of the movie is like perfection. Just that little dream sequence.
Do you know the whole story? Recite it.
We're sexy, we're cute, and popular to boot. That's all I got, but I know that part.
Also, Tony, I do believe that Crystal Palace has cheerleaders, so.
They did. I believe they got rid of them once the American owner left.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh god. But it's everything about this movie. Even Jesse Bradford's character still holds up, even though he's still a tiny bit creepy.
I love Eliza Dushku in this movie. That's my crush, for sure.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Sorry.
Okay.
I transferred from Los Angeles. Your school has no gymnastics team. This is the last resort.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh god,
solid pick.
Yeah, it's like back handspring, step out, back handspring, step out.
Full something layout.
Yeah.
Full twisting layout. That's what it is.
Damn it! You can't really say anything bad about this movie besides just like the borderline sexual assault scenes. Other than that,
there's a bit of homophobia from some of the cheerleaders on the squad.
Yeah.
And the football players.
Welcome to any film from over 5 years old.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the 2000s was riddled with homophobia.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
And the 80s, and the 70s,
Yeah.
and the 2010s.
It just gets worse as you go back. It's getting filtered out through the years. Everyone's getting a little bit better. But hey, here we go. Tony, your third round pick. What you got?
All right. Do I go for the sophisticated smart pick? Do I go for the dirty pick?
Go for the Tony pick.
Yeah, because it'll be a movie I
I
don't
haven't
know.
taken the specific movie yet.
Don't try to appease the poll.
I'm going to go
That sounded horrible.
for one of the greatest feminist films of all time. This film, I watched it for a Fancy Film Fights episode a couple of months ago, and I loved every single moment of it. Just the way the music was integrated into this film was just so well done, and just I wasn't expecting to just fall in love with the character of Baby as much as I did. However, one of the best teen movies of all time, the coming of age story of Baby, Dirty Dancing, is an incredible film.
Is Johnny Castle a teen in that one though?
Maybe he is.
If you Google teen movies, this
It
does
does
come
pop
up.
Okay. All right.
This is one of the 12 on the Esquire.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I would have picked this as my teen movie, but
dance movie for sure. Teen movie?
I mean, it is pretty fantastic.
I carried a watermelon.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, this is one like I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but like, have I really seen it? I'm pretty confident.
Is this the one Jerry Orbach is in, or is he in Footloose?
Plays her
Okay.
father, yes.
Yeah, I've seen this one. It's fine.
Oh my god!
It has Detective Lenny Briscoe in it, so it's pretty good. I mean,
The thing
The
that I love
woman
about it is
carries watermelons into the room.
I carried a
Like, that's
watermelon.
comedy. This is a classic.
That's comedy.
but she's a teen. All right, that makes it a bit creepier, but oh well. But I was gonna say, one of the things about it is that when I watched it, I was just expecting it. Oh, it's just gonna be basically build up to the dance. That's the big scene, and nothing else. But really, like, there was so much to this movie that it's just so interesting and just so. I'm just like,
Yeah, whole abortion.
and Jennifer Grey is just really good. Like, I was like, why does she not talk about it? It's like this really good young performance. Like her, like she carries that film. Like, and she's like, and also if you read about the way that it was shot and everything like that, like Patrick Swayze was just meant to be like just the male gay, the female gaze. It was like done in this really interesting way as well. Just really nice.
Now there's a series on Netflix called like The Movies That Made Us, and they did like a whole like thing, like a background thing. It was nearly Sarah Jessica Parker and Billy Zane instead of Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. That would have been a completely different movie. There's no way it would have been the classic that it became if it was those two. At least I don't think so in my mind's eye.
But to answer your question, Tony, I think the reason she never really took off after this is because her and Patrick Swayze didn't get along.
Yeah.
And he was the bigger star than she was. So there you go.
Info.
He went on to do Ghost.
Stupid Patrick Swayze ruining people's careers.
How dare
May
you?
he- may
Do
he
not speak
rest-
ill of the dead, Tony.
Really? Man, Tony.
Yeah, you do not speak of Vito Bohem in that manner, sir.
Yeah, Roadhouse exists. Don't slander Patrick Swayze.
All right, Scott. End of round 3. Over to you to end it. What you got?
Okay, we've mentioned Matthew Lillard. We've mentioned the year 1995. And I believe somebody in the chat even mentioned this movie. But it is probably the best teen horror film of all time. Scream.
Damn it! Damn you, Scott. Damn you.
I knew one of you was going to take it, but I put it.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. I just think it's so much fun. The way that it manages to be a satire of horror movies, but also a great horror movie in and of itself, is something that I think is really difficult to pull off. And only somebody like Wes Craven, right, who made maybe the second best teen horror movie of all time too, that was a lot more straight-laced, but could have done it. And I think it's a masterful job by him. I love the cast. The kills are very memorable. The Tatum getting smushed in the garage door is just very inventive. And there's a lot of twists. Neve Campbell is a great final girl. I think the whole franchise is just one of the best horror franchises, maybe the best. And I will never, when leaving a room, not say in a Matthew Lillard voice, "I'll be right back."
Another incredible Matthew Lillard performance, by the way.
Like,
Matthew Lillard getting some love on this show. I respect it.
Yeah.
As he should. Damn you, Scott. Seriously, damn you. That was my next pick. I wanted Scream. I was like, maybe no one will pick, maybe no one will think, the horror movie is the teen movie. This is a great pick. I really hope to get this, but man, I got nothing bad to say. I love this movie.
I think this is the first horror movie I ever really sat down and watched.
This is the first horror movie I ever watched.
Pretty excellent. So I was.
It's a great horror movie. It's a great horror movie for people who don't like horror movies. Honestly,
No, that's exactly what
it's just fun.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Up until the Happy Death Day series came out, this was my favorite horror thing of all time because it balanced that thing of being scary, but also just having a bit that me as a giant coward can attach to.
Mm-hmm. Like the balls.
I like Happy Death Day, but come on, this movie is incredible. Like, I echo all of the sentiments.
I'm on Team Tony. I've seen
like
Happy Death Day 10 times.
I like the second one as well, but compared to especially the first Scream movie, it's no contest. This is one of the pinnacles of the genre for a reason. And it's interesting that Wes Craven made this coming off of New Nightmare, which is another great sort of meta horror. Which, huge fan of New Nightmare, and also a huge fan of this movie. I feel like Jamie Kent. I think we've said it before, but Jamie Kent is nice in the Community in movie character form. And just the scene. Obviously the scene where he explains the rules is iconic, including the "I'll be right back" part. But this movie's great, and I think it did kind of. I don't know. I think it kind of gave us Kevin Williamson for better or for worse, because you get this, but then you also get like teaching Mrs. Tingle.
Hey. So, Barry Watson was okay in that.
Yeah.
Barry Watson? Yeah. The guy
give and
take.
take.
That's his name?
Yeah, Barry Watson.
Okay.
The balls this movie had to take up-and-coming star Drew Barrymore and kill her off in the first 10 minutes.
One of the best opening scenes of any movie, period.
Facts.
Do you guys remember the MTV Movie Awards that year, and Mike Myers hosted, and he did like a bit where he was like, who's your favorite villain? And they just cut in the part where
I was born that year.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I saw that shit in the theaters.
Whose turn is it?
Wow.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And 3, Tony, recap, take it away.
I'm not even one of the younger people in this community. There's the thing.
All right. Whilst Grandma Peggy picks up her walking cane, Christina went first with Graham with American Pie, Jake went second with Clueless, Anthony won't bring it on, Tony speaks about himself in the third person now, and went with Dirty Dancing, and Scott went with Scream.
Yeah, let's not start you talking to yourself in the third person. Let's not do that.
Tony thinks that's a great idea, and Tony also thinks, just quickly, next week on Fancy Film Fights, we are doing Steven Spielberg. So any film involving the great this up-and-coming director, he's done one or two things you might have heard of.
I don't know.
Also, we're not restricting
Schindler's List, number one pick.
We're not restricting it just strictly directed by. It could be produced as well?
Yeah, why not?
Shit, that opens up a whole can of worms. All right, that'll be interesting. Interesting indeed. All right. Speaking of interesting, I am interested in what Scott is going to pick for his 4th round pick. What you thinking?
All right. I think Tony was alluding to this movie maybe earlier when talking about a particular actor, but I'm going with a 2000s movie that I think maybe is sort of the Clueless of the 2000s just because it coined its own lingo in the way that Clueless did, I think, in the time that it came out. And it was an Oscar winner. I'm picking Juno.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, another one of my favorite movies. Some people don't think it holds up. I personally still find it a lot of fun. I think Diablo Cody's dialogue is absolutely fantastic, and she manages to pull off that quirky dialogue. Like 9 times out of 10, it would just sound so weird and wrong. But she found the right actors. I think she just found the right cadence and everything to make it sound hip. Rather than the alternative. I think that Elliot Page, perfect lead in this movie. And, the great supporting cast, J.K. Simmons and Allison Janney are just an absolute delight as the parents. It's just, again, the dialogue and everything is so much fun. It's a totally wizard movie.
Yeah, there was a definite uptick in me being called Home Skillet after this movie came out.
Yeah, that was kind of the worst, sort of the roughest part of the movie. You're like at the beginning, you're like, oh Jesus, here we go. But it does eventually sort of mellow out or feel more natural as it goes along. Yeah, I loved this movie when it came out in 2007. I still stand by that Michael Cera was better in Superbad than Juno, but he is good. He's good in this movie, and like he's very well cast as just kind of the dweeb who can
hamburger.
And also, this movie takes place in Minnesota, so also holds kind of a special place in my heart. I also want to put some respect on Jennifer Garner's name. She's really good in this movie as well. Not her peak. That's 13 going on 30, obviously, but yeah, she's great in Juno. She's great in Juno as well. Just I think kind of like, yeah, she's just really sweet and she's really earnest and a really good sort of not foil but a compliment to Juno. I think they really make that relationship work. It really elevates the movie.
I've seen it once. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. Like maybe I need another watch. Maybe I don't know if I really paid that much attention the first time I saw it. It was just kind of like, all right, I heard things, so I watched it and was just like, okay. So maybe I'll might be one of those I need a second shot on because I know a lot of people absolutely love this movie and think it's fantastic. So.
And I will say it portrays like teen pregnancy in such a sensitive way. Like I think all sides of the spectrum are given a voice and given respect in this movie, which I appreciate.
I watched this after Elliot Page announced that they're transitioning, and I rewatched it after the fact, just out of this morbid curiosity of just like, all right, this is a film about pregnancy, and just like, does it still hold up with this knowledge about her? It actually takes on this whole new life of its own. It's actually really fascinating, this idea of just like the idea, bringing that into the film as well. It's an absolutely fascinating movie, and Jason Reitman is probably one of my favorite directors working today, even though why the fuck has he followed his dad into that shit franchise?
Here we go.
But like everything that Jason Reitman's done is incredible, and this is probably his finest hour. Him and Diablo, there's very few partnerships like Diablo Cody and Jason Reitman. Like you have that, you have Tully as well. Just like it's so just works so perfectly together.
Yeah, I had to look up this actress, Olivia Thirlby.
Yeah, also great.
Yeah, she's like the best friend. She's like non-judgmental, just completely supportive. Whatever, like I got your back no matter what. Sorry, I just had to throw her a little salute.
I've never seen this movie. This is the only one I haven't seen so far.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you'd get a kick out of it for sure. I mean, you probably won't go ape shit over it like some people, but I think you'd dig it.
I definitely will not go ape shit over it. I can just tell you right now, I won't.
I do have another Elliot Page film on my list. Do I go with that one now, or do I continue my thing of picking the better version, the better pick of what Scott does or not? Now,
Trying to think of what you think.
I'm always going to say go with the Tony pick.
all right, the Tony pick.
Yes.
It's got to be one of the best films of all time. It's got to be a film about school, about in many generations, about trying to figure out who you are as a person and relationships with your parents, even if that means going back and kissing your mum in 1955. It's a teen movie. It deals with bullying. It deals with high school. It deals with figuring out your skills. Back to the Future.
Might have been my next pick.
I saw this
strong choice
on the list. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I also thought she was probably going to pick it.
My idea of a teen movie is not good. So none of my picks are going to be like good movies.
Not another good movie.
So like it's to me like a teen movie is it stars like it's like all teens. Like this actually has like a plot in it. Like my teen movie taste is like just getting drunk and banging.
Well, that's part of the plot of Back to the Future.
Don't have kids.
Bro.
Please do not have kids.
Thankfully, they didn't go too far with the last part of that.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the most picked movies. Just like
I was about to say, like we should change the slogan from "Always Pick Rocky" to "Always Pick Rocky" or "Back to the Future."
Back to the Future. Yeah, it's just everything, and once again, like Biff as a villain, just like, yes, please, thank you, sir.
I never remember what his real name is, though. The actor's name. It just will never be in my brain.
Thomas F. Wilson, aka the gym teacher in Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He will always be Biff. I will never learn his real name, and it's just who I am as a person.
He's Biff at all times.
So I've saw a stand-up set he did once where he does musical comedy. One of the songs is "I'm not Biff. I'm not just Biff." For people like you, Christina.
Yeah, try telling that to them.
Okay. I'm sure he'd be really bummed if I was like, "Oh my God, you're Biff," and I recognized him. I'm sure that gets really old to be recognized for your biggest role of all time.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not going to get any argument from me. I mean, obviously, I think we don't really need to go very deep into the merits of Back to the Future. We all acknowledge it's one of the best movies ever made. We don't need to really get into it. It's a fantastic choice.
Yeah, we've covered this one. We can proceed on to Anthony's fourth round pick.
All right, I have a few in here. I'm going to go with one that I absolutely love, that we've actually gone to an event at the Franklin Institute where I dressed up as one of the characters. It's a time travel movie as well, and it's in San Dimas. It's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great time. Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter are fantastic in it. You get George Carlin, and I just enjoy this movie. I always love it. If it's on TV, I'm watching it. I can watch this over and over again without a problem. So Bill and Ted needs to be on my list. I feel like I have a very, very me list right now.
Yeah, I see if I can find the picture.
I haven't watched this one probably since the early 90s.
Wow.
And yeah, any of them. I haven't seen the recent one that came out.
Don't chase sucks.
I won't mention the
Damn it, Tony.
subtitle.
Because I value my friendship with my manager and team partner, I must say that I enjoyed this movie. It's not really my style of humor, but I appreciate the enthusiasm with which they go for it. Like Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves are really giving 110%. And so I appreciate that aspect of it. And I get why people like it.
Yeah, so I watched all three of these movies in one day not that long ago because I hadn't seen Bogus Journey or Face the Music. I've seen Excellent Adventure several times. Yeah. It is indeed most excellent, and it still holds up really well. even 32 years later. It holds up really well, especially for most comedies of the era. Just because I think a lot of what Scott said, I just think just the energy of the two leads, just again, we come back to earnestness a lot, but I think in this movie especially, it really comes through, and I think is the thing that has aged the best about it. I can't call Sigmund Freud. He has to be Sigmund Freud or Freud.
If you can't say Socrates, it's Socrates.
Socrates, yeah.
I have not said Socrates in the past 20 years of my life because it's Socrates.
Tony, I did send you the picture if you wanted to share your screen.
Oh God,
let me do that.
Please do.
Please, yeah.
My friend, me and my friend went. This was.
I wish I would have taken a picture of the back of his shirt because I did draw a pretty.
I'm trying to see if I can just guess whether Anthony dressed as Bill or Ted.
Very, very obvious.
Without seeing it, I'm pretty sure I would guess you were Ted.
All right, I'm just uploading it now, but
you have to give off very Ted energy.
It's an interesting picture.
It is. The hair was kind of difficult to do, but
your hair wasn't as long back then.
This is the content we come for.
I love it.
Come on, that is a pretty solid job, though. That is pretty solid.
That's a good job.
Oh Lord!
Everyone watching, you're welcome.
/ we apologize.
Also that.
All right, so Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure off the board. Jake.
All right, we hadn't. I don't think we had picked any '80s movies before the last two.
There's one.
Don't do it, Jake. Don't do it.
I am going to go with the '80s, not for what Scott thinks. Probably. I'm going with. I'm going to go with "Oh Captain, My Captain."
Oh wow.
Okay. Acceptable.
Okay.
I love Dead Poets Society. I mean, Robin Williams. Today would have been Robin Williams' 70th birthday. So I do think it's appropriate to highlight one of his best performances as John Keating. I think most people would say he's the sort of teacher they would have wanted to have. Myself included, I would have loved to have a teacher. I kind of did have a teacher like John Keating as an English teacher in 10th grade, who I really loved, and who got me to understand English literature and appreciate it in a way that I never would have otherwise, namely Shakespeare. So this movie really hits for me, and talk about just an incredible young cast. Peggy's forever husband, Ethan Hawke. Robert Sean Leonard is great in this movie as Neil, I'm not going to yell Neil because I don't want to break people's eardrums, but you kind of have to. But Josh Charles, also great in this movie, as the impeccably named Knox Overstreet. Just that's how you know this kid went to prep school, because his name is Knox Overstreet. I just really love this movie, and just sort of how just depicting how the right teacher can inspire you. I know Christina doesn't get inspired by anything, but I really do think that teachers like John Keating, we need more of them. And obviously the final scene, I referenced it when I picked it. It's iconic, and I think this is one of the. I think it's important to really highlight how great this movie is. That doesn't shock me at all. That Tony says.
You need to see it.
You should. Really.
You learn to put out a barbaric yelp. But okay, for the record, forever husband Glenn Powell. I just am a forever fan of Ethan Hawke.
Spiritual successors to each other, I think. But
that's fine.
Yeah, as I was an English major, and also am a fellow Ethan Hawke stan, so of course I really enjoy this movie. Didn't quite make my list, but it's very good, and Peter Weir is a great director.
Yeah, I love this movie. I had to watch it in college. This is one of the things they like to give you a lot of teacher inspirational movies that you're required to watch as to become one. So this is up there.
Yeah. Everything Jake said's right. It's a great movie. It's well done. Robin Williams is fantastic. I mean, It wasn't on my list just because it's one of those I've seen once, probably need to rewatch just at some point soon.
Well, I think if you were gonna go with a movie like this, you'd probably lean toward maybe School Ties just because of Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
This movie's better. I like School Ties, but this is better.
That's true. That's fine.
It's streaming over here. I'll watch it this week. I'll watch it tomorrow.
I think you dig it. But
yeah, it's very good, Tony. I think you'd like it.
But we go to Christina for her 4th overall pick.
Okay, I have no idea how this movie is still available because and I'm sticking in my 1999.
Yeah, I knew.
I mean, you have baby Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You have Julia Child, and you have the late great Heath Ledger. Yeah. This movie, as a rom-com, as a teen movie, is absolute perfection. I don't even know how it got this far because I kind of screwed it up by picking American Pie before it. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Nice.
I thought you were picking bad movies, Christine.
I have a dick on my face.
I'm trying to decide how I would like my 5th round to go, but yeah, this movie is great. I mean, Heath Ledger is just, when you think of him, you think of the Joker and you think of this movie.
Yeah.
Probably even more than you would think of Brokeback Mountain.
Joker, Patrick Verona for sure.
This is kind of where I thought you were going with one of your first picks, but I guess tomorrow the dance Heath Ledger does on the stairs I'll have to do because that was our first dance. I did that. So
I've seen the video. It's very cute.
I've seen the video, but this is a great movie.
The pandemic got really dark, guys.
Yeah.
Our wedding video to you.
Yeah, it got weird. This is a great movie. It's a great pick. Luckily, I was at Target today, and I was like, wait, I don't own this. And it was like $4. I'm like, well, that's a steal. I'm buying that because now it needs to be in the collection. Everything about this movie is fantastic, and damn, I forgot about this.
Another
that
great
must
movie.
Be Nigel with the brie. Sorry.
Another great movie, Dad, is Larry Miller as Mr. Stratford, and then Allison Janney also in this one, and a lot of fun. Great pick.
Reginald's quivering member.
Yeah, this is a great pick. It was on my list, but I just figured I would give it to Christina because I knew that this was going to be picked by her, and I didn't want to incur her wrath. But yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's a great choice. You'll get no arguments from me. This is one I desperately want to rewatch because I've enjoyed it every time I've seen it, but I'm due for sure.
Yeah.
You know the actor's whose name I can never remember? He was Larry. I think his name is Larry on Empty Nest. He plays the soccer coach that was running detention that she flashes. Can never remember that dude's name. I don't know
David Lesher.
That's his name? Yeah, I can never remember it.
Maxwell, hey boo.
I just love the name David Lesher at this point now. Yeah, Something I Hate About You. It's available on Disney Plus over here, so I watched it for the first time recently, and it's just like, yeah, that Heath Ledger's pretty good.
Yeah, he was so dreamy.
Yeah,
so dreamy.
Just everything. Oh.
I mean, even Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it was just like he's definitely the boy in your class that you would crush on, like if you were in. You know,
and Andrew Keegan is definitely like the pretty boy douchebag.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt nowadays, I have no idea what that guy is doing with his life.
Yeah, no,
just
where'd he go?
Bizarre choices that he is making. Just follow him on social media. Bizarre choices.
Faded in oblivion.
Speaking of bizarre choices, I think Andrew Keegan became a cult leader.
Yeah,
I think.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
I was about to talk about how I keep getting emails from fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt about hit record, but I signed up once like 10 years ago.
Caption about this photo.
Yep.
Weird guy.
Hey, he's trying to be creative and open avenues for people. I ain't hating on it.
Yeah, most fuckable casts that would have been applicable.
Yeah,
it definitely would. But I also kind of feels a little pedophile-y at this point in my life. So, anywho, we've come to the end of round 4. Tony, for those who have joined late, happy to have you here, Maxwell. We're going to recap it for you. How last round went down, you can get a gander at how the teams are forming.
All right, here we are. So Scott went first this round. He went with Juno. I went next with Back to the Future. Anthony followed with Time Travel with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Jake went Dead Poet Society. And Christina went 10 Things I Hate About You. I now have the Miley Cyrus song stuck in my head.
You are.
And that brings us to the fifth and final round. This is where, this is where you even things out. You pick the one that's in your heart that you just have to have, or the one you think that's going to win you the poll, whatever your heart's desire. That's what you go with. Christina, where are you going?
I don't know, because I don't know if I want to just go full dumpster fire just to cause chaos in Jake and Scott's life. I don't know if I want to go with my heart. I don't know if I want to pick like an actually like really good movie.
I'll say what I say to Tony. Make it Christina pick.
Yeah, go with your heart. Then you can always do the honorable mentions at the end.
Yeah.
If something doesn't come off.
All right. All right. I'm going to go with, and this is one of my, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, one of my favorite movies when I was in high school. My friends and I used to watch this movie all of the time. And we memorized the handshake. And it was boys are cheats and liars. They're such a big disgrace. They will tell you anything to get to second. Baseball. He thinks he's going to score. I'm not going to finish it. But Matthew Lawrence is in this movie, and he's so pretty. But Rob Schneider's also in this movie, and he's not pretty. But I will go with my heart. And 2004, Christina loved this movie, so I'm going with The Hot Chick.
Oh my god!
Keep in mind, I have like fairly decent movies on this list that I did not pick.
I'm looking at the list. It's accurate.
Yeah.
But you know what's the first movie written down? The Hot Chick. First movie written down. Just going to throw that out there.
I loved this movie. We used to watch this at sleepovers all the time. This was just so funny. I don't know why we loved it, but we did.
I have a feeling Christina's going to make me watch this soon because I have not seen The Hot Chick.
You need to watch it. It's amazing.
It's actually really funny.
I love it. So.
Some golf was in the chat. Golf was in the chat making fun of me, saying that this is going to be a movie I picked. It was going to be my 5th round pick.
Oh my gosh!
It works.
What's worse than that one person had this on their list that 2 people had?
It's just wonderful, dumb fun, and there's better movies that do the body swap thing, like Freaky from this year.
Freaky
Friday.
I wasn't going to say that one because
vice versa. Sorry,
but it just does. Rob Schneider just does Hot Girl amazingly well, and it's just like it shouldn't be as good as it is, but it is, and I know. And if you give it a crack, you'll enjoy it. If you just switch your brain off and just go into it, just like, yeah, this is gonna be dumb, and it's gonna be a waste of an hour and a half of my life, but I'm gonna have a laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Melissa understands. Yeah. If you were a teenage girl in the 2000s, all of my movies
But you didn't pick Sleepover, the movie.
Because I was too old for that one.
Probably fair.
Something Vega. Alexa Vega, is that
Alexa Vega, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
see? Studying.
Impressive.
That's why you're in the showdown, girl.
There you go.
I'm good. I don't need to see this one.
Have you not seen it?
Of course not. No.
Oh, you would hate it.
You would hate every second of this movie.
You would hate. I mean, in fact, I would love to do a watch along with you just so you could scream at me the whole time. Like, I feel like at this point I've tortured you enough on many streams that we should do this so you could just yell at me about why I enjoy this garbage movie.
I'll bring a few drinks, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Friday night plans. Me and you watch along. Hot Chick.
Oh, I gotta get in this since I haven't seen it.
All right. That's what we'll do. Friday night.
By the way, anyone know who the director of The Hot Chick is?
Peyton Reed.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Not that Tom Brady.
Not that one.
That can't be the same one that's on Doug Loves Movies every now and again.
Movie.
Yeah.
I now want to see a remake done by that Tom Brady.
Yes.
Now I have to go back to the Doug Loves Movies.
Dumpster of that. All right.
There used to be a guy on Doug Loves Movies named Tom Brady. I want to find out it's the same dude.
That was awesome. I'm so glad you did that.
All right.
It is an interesting pick to say the least. But Jake, I'm interested to see what you pick for your final pick. What you got?
Yeah, God, there's so many good ones. But
Say that loud that I like that movie.
if I want to go with my heart, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite first time watches of 2021. There was a different movie written by Diablo Cody that was picked earlier.
Oh, okay.
I am going with the better one.
Nice. Oh wow.
Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
This movie is everything I wanted it to be and more. Like, God, Megan Fox was done so dirty. Because she is just absolutely fantastic in this movie. Just the perfect mean girl. Like, I think she's like almost at Regina George level.
Did Spence hear you? Like, Spence hasn't been in the chat.
You say Jennifer's Body, and they
I've
appear.
summoned Adelaide Spence from the hinterlands.
Yeah.
No, this movie is great. Like, it kind of just has a lot of the elements that I really like in the movie. Like, we haven't picked any. Scream is another great teen horror movie, but I think this is it's not a parody in the same way, but I also think that it does kind of take the piss out of the genre a lot, and it particularly. This is honestly, I didn't know if Tony would go this way because he's kind of a wuss, but I thought when he was talking about like one of the most feminist movies ever, I thought he was almost going to take this because
I know he did.
That absolutely applies here. Like, one of my favorite lines of any movie now is when Jennifer is telling her friend Needy that PMS was invented by the boy run media to make us seem crazy. Like, it's just, and that's just like one of several Diablo Cody one-liner bangers in this movie. And Amanda Seyfried is great as Needy. Shout out Johnny Simmons as Chip. Also, just he's just like her real Needy's really sweet, on the surface kind of a weenie boyfriend, but is actually like really nice. He's like just a genuinely nice guy. And yeah, this is just like an absolute heater from Megan Fox, and I will absolutely be revisiting this movie down the road. And it's also just proof that Karen Kusama needs to make more movies because she absolutely slays it with this one. The Invitation is also very good by her, but she needs to get she needs that Marvel money. Or maybe not, just like make a good movie, like an actual.
No, yeah.
She needs more. She needs to make more movies because she's legitimately really talented.
I thought I was dumb. I thought I was dumb for liking this movie for a long time, and then finally, in recent years, it seems like the cult has started to form. But yeah, I don't think it's better than Juno, but it's a ton of fun.
This is when I watched it once. I was like, it's good. And then I watched it again. I was like, okay, this is actually a lot of fun. This movie's very entertaining, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Shocking.
It feels like it's building the cult following as the years progress. Every year, it feels like it's getting like a little bit more. I don't know if that's an influence of like just being around the Schmodown, the families, and everything, or if that's just in general.
I will have to watch it for Melissa. For my girl.
For your girl.
It's very good, and I got in an argument. So there's this thing on, I think it was Twitter or somewhere, but it was like Megan Fox should play Poison Ivy, and it's like everyone was poo-pooing it because it's just a bird from Transformers. She's terrible. She's all this. It's just like if you watch like Jennifer's Body, she would actually be, especially that period of time, she would have been a fantastic Poison Ivy. Yeah. She would she's just a really good actress, but just never got the chance because she got hired by Michael Bay.
That usually ruins a lot of people.
It does.
I mean, if they haven't seen her on New Girl, flawless. She's flawless when she appears on New Girl. Just saying.
She is.
And then, okay, so Jennifer's Body was picked. Tony, do we have a little bit of an addendum going on right now?
So Scott needs to leave us in 10 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll let him go now, and then Anthony and I will go. I'll go at the end.
If he picks your pick, Anthony,
either of the two I might pick. I promise you.
Yeah, so I apologize for being the disruptor, and as a penance, I will take a movie that no one else would have on their list. Certainly, and I'm sorry that Spence came back to the chat because they're not going to be happy with me for this. But this is a movie that proves that I don't only like highbrow movies.
Maybe it's on
because
my list.
While everyone else was watching High School Musical, I was watching Band Slam. And Band Slam is a movie that I have continued to love. It's actually only one word, but sorry, I went full Joseph Olivas there. But Band Slam is a movie that I have loved for many years. It is like High School Musical for indie kids, basically. This movie is about a kid who moves to Cincinnati and finds that the high school where he has moved has this huge battle of the bands, and it's like the big event. And he's a music lover, so he gets involved by managing a band. And the leader, the front woman of the band, is Allison Michalka from Ally and AJ, and the girl who he ends up having a crush on is Vanessa Hudgens. So the High School Musical tie-in happens. Vanessa Hudgens plays an emo girl who. Her name is Sam, and she spells it SA5M and says the 5 is silent. It's epic. Okay. But the movie, I think it's I honestly think it's a really funny movie. Like, I think people would be surprised when they watch this movie how much they would laugh. And the lead actor, he never was in anything else, but I think he's really charming. And like I said, the music is good. It's like more indie. They have like a brass section in their band, and I think this movie is just great. And I hope that I've given people a movie to check out.
Yeah, I definitely have never seen it. Scott, just a heads up before you take off, if you want to either private message either me or Tony your honorable mentions, and we'll get those out after you have left.
I'll do that. Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'll hang out until I have to go. But.
I just wanted to get that in.
Something else. Looking at the scroll bar, it's like Perks. Okay, good. Lady Bird. All right. Scream. Great. Juno. All right. Band Slam. Like, what just happened?
You leave Scott alone.
Band Slam is amazing. I was obsessed by the TV show iZombie, and Ali plays.
I do love iZombie as well.
iZombie's great.
Ali's in there, so I went in and said, "Oh, this looks interesting." I'm into like these types of movies. Like, I watched it, just like. This just does everything really awesome, and it's just like it's one of these ones where just like if it had one name, if it like there was that one with Rainn Wilson in it, if it had someone of that caliber of like at that time, it does have Lisa Kudrow, but it's post Friends, so who the fuck cares? But it's one of those ones where it could have been.
Lisa Kudrow is a fantastic mom in the movie.
Oh, she's great, but sadly she just doesn't have the power to carry anything anymore because she's. But it's just one of those films where if it found its audience when it came out, it would have just gone absolute gangbusters.
I've never seen it. I can't comment at all.
I got nothing.
But Scott, I will say it's always a pleasure having you on the panel. We know you got to cut out.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Anything you want to plug or promote before you take off?
Yeah, of course. I have my podcast feed, Some Like It Scott. You can check out our regular podcast where we have weekly movie reviews. We're also starting a James Bond series. That's going to be first episode's going to be dropping in like a week or two. That's nice. We're reviewing Bond movies all the way up to No Time to Die. So make sure to check that out.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you again, sir.
Oh,
thank you.
Whilst mentioning Band Slam, it does. You need to watch it because it does have David Bowie's final film appearance.
It does, yeah. It's wonderful.
That's
and it's just
odd. It's like welcome to Newsport odd.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
So Scott took Band Slam back over to Anthony to get back on the actual track. Anthony, what is your fifth and final pick?
I mean, luckily it wasn't Band Slam. I'm trying to decide who I want to torture more, if it's going to be Scott or Jake with my last pick. And since Scott's leaving, I'm just going to leave Surf Midges off the board. So Jets for you. But my last pick. Konsu, dude. My last pick is going to break Jake just slightly because I know how much he despises this director. Tony, on the other hand, might be okay with my pick. Because what I'm going with is Jake already knows what's happening.
I'm just going to go over it.
What I'm going with is a Leo DiCaprio staple of Romeo plus Juliet. Because this movie is an insane amount of fun. And if you don't...
goodbye, everyone.
Yep. All right, I killed Scott too. Oh, I got to kill. No, this movie, yes. Is it... You either love it and you find it a lot of fun and you enjoy the way they redid Shakespeare, or you despise it, which Jake clearly despises it. And Scott, I just got kicked off the stream basically at this point for this one. So, but I enjoy this movie. I actually really have a good time with this movie. I enjoyed the characters in it. And I think they do a pretty good job of changing up the way Shakespeare does it by using the exact same quotes and make it more modern. And I like it. I like the colors. I like how it pops. So, yes, I know I'm going to lose some votes on that one, but I kind of wanted to break somebody at the end of this, and I chose Jake. Sorry. It's
And I feel like we just attacked Jake with our.
I didn't really
Baz
mean to.
Luhrmann is a hack. I cede my time.
Moulin Rouge is great. I love Baz Luhrmann's fantastic.
Baz Luhrmann's a hack. The end.
I kind of like John Leguizamo's Tybalt. I don't know if I like Paul Rudd as Paris though. That was a weird casting choice.
That was weird. But John Leguizamo's fantastic. Like, he's great.
I thought I would call him fantastic.
In the movie,
he was tolerable.
And Jamie Kennedy appears again for a minute.
This is peak Leonardo and Claire Danes. Like some of the stills from this movie are just like iconic. The way they look at each other.
When especially through the aquarium.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Like
with Desiree singing in the background.
Yeah, they're looking at each other like they do in Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It's that same look that you get in both of those movies.
And you call that
yeah, okay.
Like, I think that quote kind of sums up my feelings for Romeo and Juliet. It's fun. Like, is it a good Shakespeare adaptation? Hell no. Is it an actual good movie? No. But is it just dumb, like visual fun and just like and you have
soundtrack?
Good soundtrack. There's some good performances in it as well. It's just fun to watch.
I will say that Romeo plus Juliet is miles ahead of Moulin Rouge.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Me and Tony at least are on the same page on this one.
I also really enjoy The Great Gatsby.
Strictly Born is a classic.
I couldn't stand The Great Gatsby. All right. Anyone else wants to throw in their 2 cents on that one? Going once, going twice. All right, Tony, close it out.
All right.
You did, kind of.
I'm going to go for my smart, sophisticated pick because I am so smart and so sophisticated. I think
SMRT.
I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT.
That would be how Tony spells it.
Not only is this one of the best coming-of-age films of all time, it's also...
It would be how you spell it. Sorry. It was right.
Sorry.
What? How does anyone hate me? But all right, I say I'm still picking a smart pick. Fuck you all. I'm still showing. This is so the New Beverly Cinema has a podcast and it's really interesting. It goes on for like 5-6 hours, but they give some awesome recommendations. And this was one for a sports film, but I never heard of. It was Oscar nominated for Best Picture. And not only is it one of the best sports films I've ever seen, it's also one of the best coming of age films I've ever seen. And it's about goddamn cycling. And I don't know how this could be, but Peter Yates' 1979 Breaking Away. If you've not seen it, you need to see it yesterday. It is just...
I like the pick.
Thank you.
Color be shocked.
I have good taste sometimes. But yeah, it's about a group of 4 lads, and it's just like who just graduated from high school and it's that in between point of like going from high school to college and just moving from childhood to adulthood, and it works so wonderfully well. It has Dennis Quaid, Jackie Haley, Daniel Stern. So it's a really interesting cast as well, and just like everything about it, just like this movie does not deserve to be buried in the annals of time. It really is one of the best. Like it's one of the best sports films out there. But it's just where it's like the sport isn't important, but like what it represents is.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen this one, so I guess Jake.
I have seen this. It is very good. I was kind of surprised because I'd heard that it was a good sports movie, but like cycling, you don't really think. But no, it actually is really solid, and it's a really good small town movie as well. Like not even just like thinking about the cycling, but just like this portrait of this sort of blue collar small town. These guys kind of like kind of wanting to get out, but they sort of have been resigned to like they probably won't. This is like really young Dennis Quaid. So ladies, make of that what you will. Lives up to the hype in that regard. But yeah, this was actually not. I didn't even consider this one at all. Yeah, this is a shockingly good pick from Tony. I'm shocked he didn't pick a specific movie, which I'll mention in honorable mentions if he does.
I like to be unpredictable sometimes.
No, I'm gonna have to check this movie out because I've never seen it, and I like coming of age movies. I like sports movies. It sounds like it'd be right up my alley.
You have to be intrigued.
It won Best Original Screenplay as well, which is always a good sign. It's like it's just one of, as I said, it's just one of those films where it's just like it shouldn't be put away in the history books. It should be. It just got the issue. The issue with it is that it came out in one of the best years of cinema. So it was Oscar nominated against Norma Ray, which is pretty decent. Apocalypse Now, All That Jazz, and Kramer versus Kramer.
No. Damn.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those years where it's just like if you're not one of the big ones, you ain't getting remembered.
That's fair. But yeah, cool. That brings us to the end of the draft. Tony, I know that Scott left, but let's get a recap of how all the teams broke down, and then we'll get everyone's honorable mentions, which he sent to me, by the way.
Absolutely. All right. So Christina went first overall. She went with Can't Hardly Wait. She's
Romero and Juliet.
What?
What's this?
Romero.
Romero.
Oh, Romero. Hey, remember how I said you would spell smart SMRT? My point is getting moved here. Yo, I would watch Romero and Juliet though. Like, I would watch that movie.
Oh yeah, Romeo and Juliet with zombies. Sign me up.
Done.
Shush.
But no, you're not never allowed the same show ever again.
Yeah, this is long.
Christina went Can't Hardly Wait. She's All That. American Pie. 10 Things I Hate About You and The Hot Chick. Jake went next. He went Dazed and Confused, Superbad, Clueless, Dead Poet Society, and Jennifer's Body. Anthony in the middle. Not another teen movie. So Bring It On. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Romeo and Juliet. I went Penultimate. I went Mean Girls, Booksmart, Dirty Dancing, Back to the Future, and Breaking Away. And then Scott, Post Being a Wallflower, Lady Bird, Scream, Juno, and Band Slam.
All right. With Scott not being here, the honorable mentions that he had. Oh, actually, first chat. I see that some people have already got a head start. Throw out the ones that we missed. Throw out some ones that you think should have been drafted. But Scott's honorable mentions. This one I can't believe was not picked. Sing Street. It's a big movie with everyone and kind of shut. He also had the Spectacular Now, Say Anything, and Rocket Science were his honorable mentions. But let's go around. Let's start with Christina and go clockwise. Honorable mentions and anything you want to plug up. Plug up.
I think I have so many. Grease, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Can't Buy Me Love, and then the superior Nick Cannon remake of Love Don't Cost a Thing.
No, we're gonna have to debate that one, sir.
Never Been Kissed, Almost Famous, Euro Trip,
nice.
and 13.
Ooh,
You have not seen 13.
Wow, that's right. With what's good from Yeah, thank you.
I had a few. I see a couple in the chat already has. Well, Sky High. I had Spider-Verse. Attack the Block. It's all teens in that. And Heathers. Little 80s one there.
Yeah, I purposely didn't do any John Hughes, and I realized that nobody did.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we kind of do Peggy right. I have to like that.
Yeah, had I been drafting this, it'd be a much different situation.
Yeah, like the fact that nobody picked the Breakfast Club is shocking.
Crazy. But before we head to Tony, you guys, anything you want to plug? Any social media handles you want to throw out there? Whatever.
If you guys are up to date with the Schmodown, you now know my glorious record, so I appreciate the support in spite of all that. This Friday will be the series finale of Digesting the Force, and I am joined by not one, but 2 Damons to discuss the rise of Skywalker for our grand finale.
Nice.
And on Monday, we will have a new episode of Digesting Cinema with our biggest fan, Billy P, to discuss Super Mario Brothers, because we watched a movie based off of a video game. So if you are not listening to Digesting Cinema and Digesting the Force, I don't know what you are doing, because you're missing out.
It's pretty good.
I don't have any cool things. My Twitter is Getting Tizzy. I basically just post a bunch of stuff, and I keep up with the 52-week challenge, where you can see what I chose. That's not the Digesting Cinema podcast, and then my letterbox of the_TIZ_abides, where you can see my way too in-depth reviews of movies that are either good or garbage. Because even Super Mario Brothers has a very in-depth review for some reason.
Good to know. Good to know. I have to check that out one of these days. Tony, you want to go to you, or do you want to go to Jake first?
We'll go Jake.
Jake, I don't know if mentions anything you want to plug.
Okay. God, so many. I mean, I'll put Peggy out of her misery. I did have Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Breakfast Club on my list.
As long as somebody had Breakfast Club.
Also, to pander to Peggy, I did have Girl Next Door on my list.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cross that off mine.
In terms of horror, I had some other horror movies: Halloween, Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. And then very recent, but I wanted to just give it a special mention. I actually really liked the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix that just came out. Those are really good teen horror movies, especially the second one, which is a better Friday the 13th movie than any Friday the 13th movie. It follows another good teen horror movie. And then franchise stuff, I'm a Harry Potter shill, so I got to go Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And then older and classier, Rebel Without a Cause, the OG teen movie. As for stuff to plug, I don't know. You can just follow me on Letterboxd. Just search my name. If I know you and like you, I'll follow you back. And then
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll because it's probably not going to air for a few weeks, but. So I'm the head writer of Full Metal Trivia. We've got a big mid-year event coming up that I've been slaving over trying to write. It's called The Delve, which is basically our take on the free-for-all, where it's a mix of deep cut questions and regular trivia questions. So 30 competitors, and winners get spots on the Full Metal Singles roster. So check that out when it drops. Should be fun.
Cool. Then over to Tony.
Yep. So 2 British ones first off. So one from 2019. I've spoken about this a few times in our mentions. Rocks. This film is criminally underrated. It didn't get any love from like the BAFTAs or anything like that, which is a damn shame because of stuff like St. Maud, which is incredible. But still, this is a film about a Black British teenage girl in South London who mum just pisses off, and she has to take care of a younger sibling. It's incredible. If you can find it, please watch it. One from 1981 called Gregory's Girl. So the greatest film review of all time, Mark Kermode, talks about this film as being one of the films that will make any person cry. This is 100% true. This is an incredible film. It's a Scottish coming of age film done by Bill Forsyth, who some people may know for doing Local Hero. But if you can find it, Gregory's Girl is one of the best coming of age films. And then City of God was one that I was tempted with. American Graffiti, Minding the Gap. And then Eurotrip and Road Trip were 2 that I was going to have.
Yeah, Eurotrip was mentioned.
And then oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if that was the end of your list, what's coming up on the channel, but you kept going.
Oh, yeah, I was... so on the channel, as Christina mentioned, Digest Cinema, Digest the Force coming out this Friday. So Multiple Choice Maelstrom on the 1st of August. It is the superhero showdown. So 40 questions all on comic book films.
We'll still be here.
That's going to be a ton of fun.
Because it's on a Sunday.
There's a few other things in the work as well, so keep your eyes out. And just quickly.
Yes.
I don't know.
And then can you put up some of the suggestions that were in the chat?
Absolutely. You want to give out what?
Oh, what mine were? I didn't want to spoil any. You can throw that. I don't want to wait.
Yeah. All right. So I'm also 8th grade, Princess Diary, Fun in the Grass, I'm a Cheerleader, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, Now and Then.
I love Now and Then too.
Now and Then's so good.
So good.
Pump Up the Volume.
Oh, pump up the volume.
Celine Sciamma, Water Lilies. Surf's Up.
Okay.
That's an interesting one.
All right.
For sure.
There we are. Peggy Got Married, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Girl Next Door, Risky Business. All right. I watched Weird Science for the first time for this, thinking, I might be able to put this on my list. It's not that good.
It doesn't hold up. I think you had to be endeared to it back in the day for that one to think. But I am disappointed in every single one of you, chat included. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Finally, someone mentions Easy A. Thank you.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was on my list too.
I was getting livid for a hot minute there.
That was gonna be my. It was between that and Mean Girls was my 1 and 2, and I kind of just got to pick it.
I would say, and yet you didn't even mention it in your honorable mentions, motherfucker. But I don't know if I saw any of these. 17 again, I thought was kind of a cute one that doesn't get a whole lot of love. Edge of 17 is really good. Love, Simon was a really good one. The Duff didn't get mentioned. And I happen to like Shag the movie, but that's outdated and old school. And then not released in theaters, To All the Boys I Loved Before. The first one was a really, really good teen movie, if you ask me.
I agree with you.
Tony, did you bring up everything that was going on the channel, even next week's episode, or is that you leaving that to me for fantasy film fights?
We already did that early in the show, but
we did that. Okay, that's right. No, that's all right. That's all good. Because next week we are drafting Spielberg movies, which apparently is not just directed by, it is also anything he's touched, involved with, at least as a credit on IMDb or Letterboxd for it, is what I'm assuming will count. It'll be an interesting one. So hopefully you guys will join us next week while we draft that. So for myself, for Rory, who is whining at me over here in the corner, for Scott, who left us before, Christina, Anthony, Jake, and Tony. Have a good week, guys. See you next time. Bye.
Oh, just quickly, fuck Harold.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't forget to vote. That was awesome.
I thought it raked.
Who's winning?
Let's see who wins.
You're gonna win.
Nothing personal. It's really gonna matter.
Tune in next week.
You see what happens?
Brand new.
Episode?
Fantasy
Film fight.
Doesn't matter who wins because they're all losers.